Over the last few months, I've had 3 different families reach out to me in reference to cases where they say their children or grandchildren are being placed in homes with their abusers, and despite tons of evidence presented inside the court, they are not being removed from these situations. Although they know this is beyond my reach, they just want their voices to be heard in hopes that by speaking out together, it will bring about some attention and spark some change within the court system.
Hi, my name is Amanda Singleton. I'm here today to stand up for my grandson who's been the victim of the family law system in Catawba County. There's a commissioner who is also a lawyer protecting these parents who are abusing their child. We stand together to fight for these children so that we can bring awareness to see what is going on in our county.
I'm Chastity Nicholson, and I'm here today because my 2 grandchildren are being abused physically and sexually by their mother's boyfriend, and the commissioner and lawyer is fighting to keep those children in a home where they are being abused when he knows they are being abused. We are here to be the voice for these children and all children in America.
I'm Adrienne Wilson, and I gathered together all the women today to come here and protest. I'm also the fiance of a man who is fighting for his daughter, and the commissioner of Catawba County, who is their lawyer, is fighting to put her back into the home that we got her out of because of a DVO situation.
Hey, I'm Candy Kazaya. I'm here today to protest for Carlene Cayley, also as a mother who had her 2 children wrongfully removed and terminated my rights in this county. I'm also here with Parents Against Loss in hopes to bring awareness to the community and bring light and bring these girls home.
Hi, my name's Sarah Carter. I'm a family rights advocate working with families throughout North Carolina in regards to gross negligence, fraud, and corruption involving DSS cases and custody cases. My goal is to help support parents when they're fit parents and help correct instances that need to be corrected so that they can become fit parents again. And then to help also extended family members when parents can't be the parents that they need to be, keep the children in the family. I also go work on a federal level with advocates across the nation so that we can present accountability and transparency in certain circumstances like this. I also am a victim of the family court and child welfare system.
I asked each family member to give an example of some of the responses they received while dealing with their cases.
Probably the most alarming thing that we have experienced personally with the Catawba County DSS system was when my grandchild looked at the DSS worker and told that DSS worker he was afraid of his mother. He was afraid to go to her house and things that she was doing to him. And the DSS worker laughed at us and said, "Oh, all children say that."
Probably the most tragic thing that we're going through right now is my grandchildren are being physically and sexually abused, and they disclosed this information to a DSS worker, and they refused to do anything about it. My grandchildren have cried out for help, begged to speak with the lawyers, to the attorneys, and they say that because they are 3 and 5, they are too young and they do not have a voice. Well, today we will be their voice.
When we got his daughter, she had alcohol in one sippy cup and spoiled milk in the other. She had bruises on her legs. She was living with a known sex offender who was literally on parole for it, and we got temporary custody through one county, and then the commissioner lawyer went to a whole nother county and said there was no custody involved and gave custody to the grandparents and the mother again.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of kids being abused mentally and physically, and they just turn a blind eye to it. I mean, I got pictures and pictures and pictures, and I have where my son doesn't just say it to me, but just total strangers that his are beating on him. And nobody's listening. Nobody's hearing it. They keep telling me to go talk to this person or go talk to that person. And then, like I said, the last time I spoke to DSS, it was basically a threat. I go any further, they're going to take my child and put him into the system.
I had a drug addiction, and the director of this county blatantly looked at me and called me a drug addict and refused to give me proper services. Therefore, they TPR'd my case on a fast track level.
And you weren't doing drugs at the time?
I was not doing drugs at the time.
My case was the social worker didn't like that I was enrolling my children in homeschooling, and she had nothing on me. And so she actually committed perjury in court to take my children, alleging all sorts of things like domestic violence and things that never happened. And I caught on, and they actually dropped the hammer on me and threw me in jail 3 times. I had to habeas corpus myself out one time. The bailiffs assaulted me. I still have a hip injury from that. I do believe my children were abused in foster care, and they hid them from me and TPR'd me at 11 months.
The Save Our Children campaign is gaining a large following on social media. There are marches planned throughout the region, with one happening tomorrow in Lincoln County. The families say they will not stop speaking out until they're sure their children will be safe.
I would like to see some sort of an investigation outside of Catawba County into the commissioner, who is also the lawyer, and into Catawba County DSS. There are too many cases that are being told daily. We are having people come forward daily about cases that their children are being abused. They've been taken from them for no reason. We want someone to come from outside of Catawba County and investigate what is going on with these child custody and DSS cases.
Right, so the courts need to step in. They need to start doing the right thing. And these DSS agents need to get off their butts. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of them having standards. You're guilty before you walk in that room because you're a male. You're lying. My son tells you what it is, and he tells the truth, and he wants me to help. And I'm begging for help. I'm pleading for people, for not only the court systems, but also the media, to start getting into these cases before he's another victim. I don't want to bury my son. And that's where it's coming to.
I want to know that when every child lays down at night, they lay down safe. I want to know that when my grandbabies lay their heads down at night, they don't have to worry about someone abusing them physically or sexually. I think that there needs to be an open investigation against this commissioner and lawyer into what he's done. There is so many people come forward and said so many crooked things that he's doing, that he's paying people off and he's, doing whatever to get what he wants on a daily basis. And it's not fair. And it's not fair that these judges in this county go for what he says because he is the commissioner of Catawba County. That is not fair to these children. They are doing this at the expense of our children.
I want to know that repercussions are happening. It's not just the commissioner and the lawyer. It's not just the judge. It's also the DSS worker. If more than one of her cases, the children had either died or been seriously injured before they were removed from the home, then something is wrong and something needs to change. And if her supervisor can't see that, then the supervisor needs to go too. The courthouse needs to realize that if it is a commissioner in that county, then that judge should not hear that case because it is a conflict. And that all needs to change. And unfortunately, these kids are being left in the cracks. And I know that because I was a foster child. So I know exactly that they're being left in the cracks. I was in a home like this because he was a lawyer and she was a doctor. It took a long, long time for me to be able to get out. So I know exactly what these kids are going through at this time.
Be the voice for these children who are wrongfully removed or being sexually abused. It breaks my heart as a mother who has failed to acknowledge my repercussions as what I did wrong. So for me, my hopes would be that all DSS workers should be properly trained. They should not be given this job without a license like they are being given in this county especially. Also is that they should follow the state policy, state guidelines as far as the in-home assessments, anything like that, because they didn't follow any of proper guidelines, statutes, anything, and in my case and also in many others. So I would hope that they would do a reform in this county.
Unfortunately, working with cases across the state, I've been able to have a healthy perspective of a lot of the problems that have been going on for generations. I've gone to the state Department of Social Services, I've gone to county commissioners, I've gone to meetings across the state. Nobody's listening to us. So the advocates across the nation had to literally go to Congress and appropriations and senators on a federal level to start passing laws to start slowly rolling in the accountability and transparency on state levels. Unfortunately, the states are balking at that. So I think what I would like to see, especially in Catawba County, is more parents and families that are going through this, and people who have been through the foster care system, guardian ad litems, foster care parents, some social workers that are actually caring about people and stuff, all coming together to come up with a solution. I also don't tote reform, I tote restoration, because through the Declaration of Independence, it promised us certain things. Those things are gone now. So if we can get together and come up with a solution that is community-minded and community-driven, I think that would work the best.